Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Avatar Rewatch. I am Nick Gibson. Joining me, as always, is the very comical Jared.
Nice. I appreciate that one. How you doing?
It took me 14 episodes to finally come up with that low-hanging fruit.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so we are very fortunate this week to be talking about episode 14, The Fortune Teller. So, Jared, what are your initial thoughts on this episode?
Man, Aang was crushing on a guitar hard. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, coming off a little strong, but you gotta work on your approach. But I just love how Katara really annoyed the fortune teller to the point where she like locked the door. She's like, "What about this? What about this?" He's like, "Oh, shut up."
Yeah. So this is kind of like a filler episode. I mean, it does advance the relationship between Katara and Aang, but like overall wise, this has nothing to do with the plot. It's just honestly, it's good filler. I'd say.
Mhm.
See, you start off. They're kind of relaxing. Sokka's trying to catch a fish. They set up. The whole Aang liking Katara thing that was there from the first episode.
Mhm.
It's like that whole thing. Yeah, it's a good slow burn throughout the series. He's trying to catch a fish. Aang makes a little nice necklace, and then I think this is the first instance of the combination animals. So
Yeah, it's like a bear platypus. The hell?
get used to it. They really run with that gag.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of saw it throughout kind of the episode. You saw like different animals, like the. But yeah, they really do run with that gag.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say turtle duck.
Oh God.
But no, they turn out to be really adorable.
And I just love that when the platypus bear escapes, he just lays an egg.
Yeah, because the platypus is the only mammal that lays eggs.
Mm-hmm. I was like, as soon as he said platypus bear, I was like, did I hear that? And then they show it, and I'm like, oh yeah, it actually is a platypus bear.
Plus, it's kind of a very PG way of saying, it crapped himself.
That's what I took it as. I was like, oh, that's clever.
Yeah. Yeah. So like then we got like the prediction stuff, and that's basically your inciting incident for this one. So they go to the village, they meet with her, and like you have this girl start crushing on him. He was like, "You have really big ears," Yeah. So what do you think of the episode so far?
I like it. It was funny. It was enjoyable. I like how hard Sokka goes to prove that the fortune teller is not actually telling the future.
Oh, trust me. There's a moment there that we're gonna talk about involving Sokka. I think and so they kind of go through all this. They do that, and then Sokka's not really convinced. They do like the cloud reading. Got this volcano, and probably my favorite moment of the show, which it really became like if you take it's like can your science explain that? It's like, and he's like, yes, it can. It's like, oh my god, this is like. I don't want to get political on here, but this is almost like like the whole
science.
Trust the science. I mean, it's not real. It's okay. It's not as rhetorical about it, but like
it's not really that on the nose.
you know, it's kind of got that same kind of energy to it. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, belief, superstition versus science and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. You know, yeah. So Aang's he's like trying to find a panda flower. Turns out the volcano is going to erupt, and so now they have to cloud bend.
But I was like, okay, now I've seen everything.
Yep, they got to put the dark mark up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and so I think they really put some money into this because like some of those camera shots are really good. You see some earthbenders doing the thing. You see Aang doing some really powerful airbending. Um, you know, and then probably my favorite shot is like Sokka saying, "Oh, Aang really is a very powerful bender," and then she's like, "Really?" And then you got like the kind of like that camera pan where like she realizes like, "Oh crap, he was talking about him," you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is probably the first moment where I mean you can kind of see there was kind of some inkling that Katara was attracted to Aang, but this is kind of the first moment where she starts to realize she might have feelings for him. You know?
Yeah, that's what I picked up on in this episode. It seems like now they're both starting to realize, oh, we probably like each other.
Yeah, yeah. So there's kind of been some good twists and turns and whatnot. You know, then like so it turns out that like the girl that was kind of he got told a guy with big ears is he's gonna fall in love with, and you know it's like um also this episode really kind of hits I'm kind of being scatterbrained with this one.
So,
There's another really good moment where um it goes like, oh, if I wear red shoes I'll meet the woman I love. You've been wearing that every day. It's there's a theory of that. It's like a law or whatever.
mm-hmm.
You know, they kind of hit upon those kind of principles, and it's something I really like about the show is it takes a lot of these like complicated concepts and boils it down in ways that kids can understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think kind of the moral of this episode, and correct me if I'm wrong, is superstition versus science.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I think it is. Yeah.
You know, and also you know, seize the day, you are the arbiter of your own destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think the episode has like a full on stance against the fortune telling. It's more just like you don't have to fully rely on it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your overall thoughts on the episode?
Yeah, I like it, and I definitely agree with you on those like points that you put out because yeah, it definitely has that whole science versus superstition, if you will, like dichotomy, and I like how it deals with that. Again, this gets back to a theme that we've talked about throughout this series about how the show deals with complicated like topics and issues, but does it in a way that a kid can understand.
Yeah, and the thing I kind of remember about this world is this is a world where spirits are real
Mm-hmm.
and that people can bend, and that there is a person who can bend all four of the elements who is directly connected to spiritual and is confirmed to have past lives. So this world doesn't fully operate on our logic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's you know it's like the whole in like the whole Marvel universe thing. It's like it's like where there are actual gods.
Mm-hmm.
Though I
Yeah.
though as a side that reminds me of my favorite line from the Avengers. It's like there's only one God, ma'am, and I'm sure he doesn't dress like that.
Yeah, or like in DC, where you have like a being that takes that gets his powers by absorbing the solar radiation, and you have one that's like was made by her mother, shaping her out of clay, and you have a being that rules the seven seas. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can like look behind a little, look beyond a little bit. You have to you have to essentially suspend your disbelief a little bit.
Yeah. So really good episode, and so yeah, so we're kind of getting close to the end of season 1. So Jared, how about we kind of give them a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be doing next?
Gonna happen is the next series that we rewatch. In other words, when we're done with Avatar, we're gonna start releasing stuff on my channel, and that series I have to see where it ends up. We're planning on doing the Justice League animated show because Nick hasn't seen that. I've seen all of it multiple times. The reason why I'm waiting for that is because it's being taken off HBO Max, so I need to see which streaming service it gets put on so I can see where I can watch it. But barring any unforeseen circumstances, we'll do that one or Green Lantern or one of the DC animated shows that Nick hasn't seen. So that's the plan as soon as we finish season 1 of Avatar.
Yeah. So, and that's going to be Mondays on his channel. And in the meantime, because
basically different day than Monday though.
Oh well, we can figure that out in the so basically, because Jared was so kind enough to do this on my channel, I'm gonna do it exclusively on his channel. And then after that, the seasons will be launching this. We'll be doing it simultaneously. So like season 2 of Justice League and season 2 of Avatar will be going on simultaneously. This is just kind of like a quid pro quo kind of thing. But as a filler, as a replacement for Avatar Rewatch on my channel, I will be doing a Let's Play of a game that I have not yet determined. Basically, you'll have Jared. He'll be co-commentating on it. You know, basically every time I die or fail, he'll say how much
I'll be heckling him all the time. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be pretty fun.
I should have my phone there with a soundboard, and every time you die, I say "epic fail."
That actually wouldn't be a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then if that thing takes off, maybe I'll have that slot in for a Friday kind of spot. You know, just kind of seeing what happens. But yeah, and then so that'll probably be under the Super Split Screen Bros, like Super Split Screen Plays or whatever. You know, I haven't decided yet. But yeah, and so yeah, Super Split Screen Bros have been doing good. But you know, that's a little bit beyond that. So yeah. Jared, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
No, it was a great episode. I like it. It was funny. It had heart, and again, it really dealt with that whole debate of superstition versus like science, because you see a lot about that and the religion versus atheism argument. So it's cool to see that represented in an accessible way.
Yeah, and I feel like they weren't they kind of leaned more towards the science, but they weren't totally dismissive of the superstition. So I felt like it was a pretty fair episode. I feel like the way they handled it was pretty fair. Like they weren't like, oh, religion bad, science good, which is how a lot of modern writers would handle that topic. But
yeah, you mean modern activists.
So yeah, join us next week for episode 15 of Bottle of the Water Tribe. And this has been Nick Gibson from the Phoenix Press. And remember,
Jared from Comics League.
I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.